Trusty ape. I am not late for this motherfucker. I've never been late in my life. What are you talking about? No. I got a call from one of my drummers. One of my drummers. Uh, one of two at least. Holy shit, there were people waiting. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Welcome to the stream, Sunday night. Hope y'all had a safe and happy 4th of July. Today is July 5th, 2026, of course. And I am your host. Doing a thing, catch up on some comments I see. Welcome Ember says that's the scariest thumbnail I've seen all day. I think he's hiding. He's hiding behind the microphone. I clipped that one real quick. But it is a little terrifying. And Dr. Kip says cross stream against bad science Sunday sacrilege. Yeah, it's not. I normally wouldn't do that. I apologize, but no. Also, um, go check out Bad Science Sunday on my Atkinson's channel, which is going on now. This was just the time that I had available, and I figured I'd try to get to this pretty quickly. What's up, Cher? Good to see you. Um, Thinker's Fireside says, "Who is Michael Beverly?" I know, I know. So interestingly enough, since the last time we were here together, Michael has rebranded the channel, rebranded his YouTube channel, I should say, and we'll touch on that in a bit. We've got a couple things to cover here tonight. And also, welcome KC. Also, that Phil dude is streaming with all the hate watchers. Uh, well, I guess they're talking about trucking then, right? They're just talking about trucking. Where are the strings? Uh, they're probably attached to my hands and feet. I don't know. Oh, that's not. You're talking about a different type of strings. I get it. Oh, okay. No, he could be a hand puppet in this video. Explains the look on his face. Damn it. Get the next one. Is this thing on? It is now. Hopefully my microphone's okay. I noticed it was a little quiet on the last stream, so I boosted it up a little bit. So yeah, you can always tell me if my audio is shit. I'll try to fix it, but I make no guarantees. What's up, Detroit Atheist Queen? Good to see you. Casey said I got blocked on Filbert because they really don't like me. They're also a bunch of speculating weirdos. Sounds about right. Um, I kept lurking over there. But yeah, Filbert seems to be he's been drinking the Kool-Aid. Kelly says Filbert is an ass. One of them was like, they are investigating me. Dude, I don't even know who the fuck you even are. Poor fellows. They've just been commenting on the wrong shit, I guess, you know? Um and Bree Badger welcome says, yeah, I saw that. And then they're going on about why don't they use their skills to do what we want? It's like maybe they did use their skills and that's why they don't agree with you. Indeed. Phil unfucked off. Well, yeah, he pulled his tried to pull his little community over there with him, I guess. Just trying to take people out of atheist YouTube and bring them into AI trucking YouTube or whatever the fuck he's talking about. I don't know. I have a hard time following all this shit. Like, I have a family member who's a gig driver and wants to talk all the time about fucking doing gig driving. I'm like, that's cool, that's your thing. It just doesn't interest me. Like, I don't want to engage in that with you. Um, oh, what happened here? PC, of course, couldn't help herself. She had to lie and act like you learned about trust, but verify shit. Wait, verify shit? Uh, so I guess that's a personal beef going on there. And no one has done anything. Casey said, we have literally zero reasons to protect someone who does shit like that. We've never done that before, and we aren't going to do it with Elliot either. Great point. Yeah. There's there's no reason that anybody would just be like, oh yeah, secular rarity gets a pass because No, there's literally enough people doing doing activism, doing organizing. It's not like the show's gonna stop without secular rarity. Like, what is he? Is he like a billionaire, a secret billionaire who's funding all of these organizations? Why does he get this special privilege? Is it just because he's white? I no, no, the shit doesn't work. It's completely ludicrous. And then Bree said, "Yep," but somehow, despite the fact that y'all were involved in literally getting him kicked out, somehow, no one has done anything. Yeah, they live in a weird alternate reality. Agreed. And Fireside says, "Oop, show that? Trying to show it. I told Elliot at the beginning, if this is true, we will put you on blast. I guess Michael thought our dumb women brains wouldn't figure that shit out. No, it's the atheism. It's the atheism that makes us stupid." And Stephen. And Bree says he probably thought, hey, they're protecting one bad guy. They'd like me too if they figure it out. Sorry to keep everybody waiting. Yeah, I mean the drummer. You got to take calls from the drummer when you can. Casey said, I just don't like him looking at me. I just said I don't like him looking at me in my living room. I guess we're talking about Michael, right? Oh, yeah. I Cat's like, I am Michael Beverly. Wait, wrong movie. Not this one. Yeah. What's up, AJ? Good to see you. I'm here. I came to listen to some sane humans. Thanks for being sane, or as sane as one can be. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I try to be sane. I mean, I'm trying to stay sane, is what I should say, with varying degrees of success. Yeah. It's a little painful too. I look at the trees been over here before too, and always struck me as a fairly rational actor, but people get pulled in. What's up, Seth? Ambush Posse, good to see you. And she wonders. Welcome, welcome. Here we go. No, yeah, yeah, we're going. See lots of oh, Verify is a okay. So we're talking about another YouTuber. I thought I was like this. I just missed the whole train on who Verify was. Verify was an ACA host. Came to light he had some crimes, so he was instantly deleted, like it always happens. Which makes sense. I mean, you don't want to keep shit like that around. Um, for an organization like that, you don't want to be connected to it, right? It makes sense. Um, what's up? What's up, John? Good to see you. Godless engineer. Do you know where your daughters are? I do. Probably out here watching atheist YouTube. All right. So I did receive some information. Some information. There has been a .com posted, which I have linked, of course, in the description. So when I first looked at this, I was like, no way, no fucking way. And then I started looking into it a little bit. We have a .com that has been posted for Michael S. Beverly. Imagine that. Wouldn't it be crazy if this guy happened to be, I don't know, some kind of predator himself? We're in the About section. All right. So it says Michael Beverly is a YouTube content creator, and we have hyperlinks. In 2011, in Orange County, California, he pleaded to two counts of a lewd act on a child aged 14 or 15, and he is a registered California sex offender. That same year, he legally changed his name from Michael Stephen Bird to Michael Stephen Beverly. He also writes under the pen name Jaden Hunter. A separate 2016 case left an outstanding arrest warrant. The court lists his release status as fugitive, and California Department of Justice records list him as an absconder. Each point below is laid out with the court record behind it, so you can check it yourself. This is not just a notarized statement, is it? This is not just a notarized statement that somebody could post on the internet in the form of a PDF file. Um, this is and this .com, it's michaelsbeverly.com, is now out there. The website is slick. Oh wait, did it show? It didn't show. The website is slick. Yeah, and then we got, yeah, we're all waiting to get paid here. No. I heard y'all was rolling in it. Okay. Okay. Is this real? Yeah, what good are the sources? Correct, Ember. What good are the sources without a notarized stamp of approval? Well, they might be even better than that. Let's keep on going here. Um, I did a little bit of research into this myself too. We can click the hyperlink to find out more maybe. So at a glance, two counts, single case, felony convictions on file, two counts of 288 C1 counts on guilty plea in case. Okay, and so we have the case number 288C, and that's just to the charge is um, yeah, get exactly that, lewd or lascivious acts with a minor. Um, and then so there's it's differentiated by age. Child under 14, no force, use of force or fear, or C is victims aged 14 to 15. It says this is a wobbler offense if the offender is 10 or more years older than the minor. It can be charged as a misdemeanor or a felony, carrying a maximum of 3 years in state prison. And then this might be yeah, so 288.5 would be continuous sexual abuse. That would be allegations of this being ongoing. We don't appear to see that here, but nonetheless, okay. And so this is in on the California Sex Offender Registry, which of course anybody can go check for themselves. Again, this will be under the name Michael Stephen Bird, although I think the name change should be in there if I'm correct. Um, and in this says there's one case and there's actually five counts, but he was charged with additional counts 273.6A. That um, wrong one. A, which brings us to we've stumped the AI or my internet's lagging, one or the other. This is intentionally and knowingly violating the terms of a court-issued restraining order or protective order. Okay, and so these are charged but not a conviction. But that could be because he absconded, right? So the little bit I know about Michael, the backstory that he has told us, from my recollection, was that he had said that he moved to Mexico some years ago for financial reasons. I believe that was what he cited. I don't have citations for that, but I'm pretty sure anytime I've heard him talking about this in the past, he said that he went to Mexico because it's cheaper, right? Cat says, I feel like I've missed so much again. Like, good Lord. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to miss out on things like this. I didn't even know this was a thing for several months, or at least I was ignoring that it was a thing because I was, busy doing other shit. I just tuned out, right? Someone engineered the shit out of that site. It looks good. I mean, I will say it's a good looking website. He flicks the Wayback Machine site, Casey, and it's his old site. Oh no, his own website. This is wild. All right, so go to the name change. Petition filed. This is November of 2011. In 2011, Michael Beverly petitioned the Orange County Court to change his legal name from Michael Stephen Bird to Michael Stephen Beverly. The email address on that petition matches the email he still uses publicly today, the same person under two names. Michael Beverly also writes under the pen name Jaden Hunter. Under that name, he has a Goodreads author profile archived and one book currently available for sale. Under that name, he has also published thriller novels. Reviewers of those novels describe them in their own words, quoted verbatim below, and linked in full. So this is from the reviews. Undressed at Sea is supposed to be a thriller, but thriller aspects were missing for me. I didn't feel the tension or buildup I was looking for. Instead, the focus was violence towards women, countless sexual encounters, abuse, and rape. From the scary reviews. And here's another one. This book didn't work for me at all. From Errant Dreams. This was Undressed to the Nines. So I went and I briefly reviewed the author page. Not much to see there, but yeah, it's interesting. So I'm a big fan of actual thrillers and horror fiction and stuff like that. So I've definitely viewed some dark work. I wonder how dark this really is compared to maybe some other authors. But nonetheless, it is interesting to know. It's not something I've ever heard him talk about. Okay, and so those are the book reviews, third-party opinions of public, published fiction, not public records, and not findings about this subject, right? But it is interesting anecdotally. All right, and so here is the petition for the change of name. Michael Stephen Bird, Yorba Linda, California. You can see the hearing at this point we're in 2012, and I found it interesting. Um, Down at the bottom, it shows you the reason, and hopefully you guys can see that. Well, that was supposed to enlarge. Maybe I could do it this way. It says click to enlarge, but then it makes it smaller. No, it's not working. How do I use this computer? Damn it! All right. Anyway, that's as big as we needed, I guess. At the bottom where it says here's his present name, proposed name, um, and it asks why he wants to change his name, reason for the name change. It says, I want to change my name back to my birth name. So, at some point, this man was born Michael Stephen Beverly, changed his name to Michael Stephen Bird, committed these offenses under that name, and then requested to change his name back to the birth name. Uh, I wonder why he changed it in the first place. Kind of interesting. So when I was doing my own research on this, I got a little bit of information. Again, not conclusive, but from what I can tell, it seems like this is the same individual. Um, and he had seemingly he seems to have moved around quite a bit um, prior to this, because it gave multiple residences, cities of residence in California, and it gave additional ones in other states, right? So don't know what he did when he moved to Texas or wherever the other one was. There were a few different. It looks like he had moved around quite a bit, and apparently changed his name for what reason? Well, I mean, we can speculate, right? We can speculate on that. Um, Ember said, if it's his old site, has anybody sent the update to his publisher? And then Bree said, was it Elliot Cantor that took down Silverman? Which Silverman? I don't know. Not sure. One said, I doubt it all now. It wasn't notarized. I have been duped, bamboozled, I say. No, yeah. So we should have taken it to the notary first. No, these are actual fucking court documents. Some a little more serious here. Some a little more substantial, substantive, if you will. Sure says it would be easy to verify. Yes, I think that's why we're doing this. The problem is, wait, what? Casey says if Seth is worth 4 million, why am I sponsoring his events? Is this another claim they made? Oh no, that's ridiculous. Yeah, checks in the mail. Um, no, no, thank you. He said, oh, okay, so this was a real thing. He was involved in taking him down, and yes, they were very close friends. See, maybe we don't know as much about Elliot Cantor as we think we do, or we, you know, claim to, but some people claim to. Right? I used the term "we" loosely there. Bree said I was wondering why he left that out there for someone to claim. I don't know. I'm the Hex Kitten, remember? Right. And the most important point, we do not protect sex abusers. Um, this is, yeah, and I mean, this has been a thing going on in the larger, broader atheist community, not like the circles that we travel in, specifically, but like look at the shit that happened with like um, uh, Lawrence Krauss and those guys. Like anytime those guys end up getting called out for bad behavior, they get viciously reprimanded around all of these circles. Like nobody is letting them off the hook for that. If they're whether they are, actual criminals or just what people call sex pests. I mean, nobody's just nobody's just saying, oh well, let's just let that shit fly because they're prominent atheist influencers, and no, nobody does that. Um, there's certain people who try to look different, I guess, but I don't think the that's not the majority of the community. Like most of the community says, no, we actually don't need those dudes around to spread our message. They're, just because they were influential at one time, if they do some problematic shit, we're gonna kick them to the curb just like anybody else. And that's what I see for the most part from the atheist community. It's like, hey, if you want to be serious, then try to behave, like a civilized fucking humanist would, and not just use your influence to excuse your bad behavior. Yeah, I'm not anyway. So, She wonders, says, hopped over to the other stream for a minute. It's a fucking snooze fest. PC talking about Maya and talking to her like she's there. Yeah, because I think we're gonna just watch everything they produce endlessly. Um, Wait to hear our names called. So we'll go back to this thing here. Criminal conviction, convicted and registered, right? So as far as I remember, he pled guilty. Yep, it's a guilty plea. Now that's different. So in the state of California, you have three options, right? State of California, in a case like this, would say you can plead guilty to the crime, accept the crime, accept the charges. Sometimes they offer you a reduced sentence for pleading guilty if they believe they have you dead to rights, right? So they can, right? You're taking that plea bargain, admitting guilt, in order to reduce the penalties from that. It means basically you don't have a fucking defense, or you believe they're going to string you up anyway, right? But I don't think any sane, innocent person would plead guilty to a crime they did not commit most of the time, unless again they are coerced. They are right. There has to be some element of them being tampered with by the law enforcement or by the attorneys on some level. And we've seen that in some cases, but it's pretty rare, I think. All right, so you have the guilty plea, the not guilty plea, and then the no contest plea. So effectively, you can take a plea bargain with no contest. You do not admit guilt. There is no admission of guilt in a no contest plea, but you also um, basically kind of waive your right to defense in that case. You just say, well, I'm accepting, they said I did that, and I'll take the penalties. Maybe, hopefully there's a reduced sentence because I didn't plead not guilty, right? Because anytime you fight the court and you say you're not guilty and you take the thing to trial, um, then that causes, obviously just more congestion in the court. It's time, energy, money, etc., right, and all of those things. And so the no contest plea is basically a way for people to avoid the whole messy trial proceeding and still not admit guilt. And so that I would think that would be an option in this case. Um, as far as I know, okay. So, in 2011, in Orange County, under the name Michael Stephen Berg, he pleaded guilty to two counts of committing a lewd act on a child aged 14 or 15. A guilty plea is a conviction. This is on the court record, not an unproven accusation. He is a registered California sex offender. Court records establish that the victim was the subject's stepdaughter, the minor daughter of his then wife. The family relationship is documented in the 2012 protective order matter below. Charge on record, lewd or lascivious act upon a child aged 14 or 15 under California Penal Code 288C1, case 11NF0341. Guilty pleas entered 2011. This is November 3rd, 2011. Oh, no, no, wait. Sorry, this is not November. I got that backwards. This is going to be March 11th of 2011 in the Superior Court of California, County of Orange. And here's a link to read the conviction details and view the record. Conviction details. He pleaded guilty to both felony counts on March 11, 2011. Because he pleaded guilty, the case ended in a conviction rather than going to trial. That is the way it works. You say you're guilty, they convict you, but they may commute your things based on the plea agreement. Sentence. The sentence. The court sentenced him to 180 days in jail, 3 years of formal probation, which he completed, and restitution. Typically, restitution would be something financial. Probation violation. The next year, in 2012, the court found he had broken the terms of that probation and ordered him back to jail for another 90 days. This was part of the same case and not a new offense. Right. So if he violated the protective agreement of in this case, right, it would be attached to this case. Now you could have a separate charge. So you would have a separate charge, and I think that's what we're highlighting here. Um, and you can blow these up. Obviously, we've added the more recent pictures of Michael on here, which I thought was a an interesting touch, and it will be important later. So there's the original violation and sentencing, all pointed out there. All right, sex offender registration. Because of the 2011 conviction, he is listed on California's sex offender registry for the same offense. Registration is an ongoing consequence of that conviction, not a new charge, and not a second finding of guilt. And I don't remember how long they, well, I guess it depends probably case by case how long they have to remain on the registry. Um, I don't know if you can see this clearly. So we have the image. This is actually the image from the sex offender registry versus our current image of Michael. And if you look at them closely, try to take off the beard, you know, age progression a little bit, very close. It's very close. It's almost certain this is the same guy. It's a mark on his right hand. I haven't noticed that one particularly. But just take a good look at those two pictures. Oh, and here we have AJ says he moved to Mexico a few months after the warrant. Put two and two together, right? Makes sense. And for those few months, he was hiding in an isolated cabin in Oregon in the middle of nowhere. What? She mentions my kid three times in a day. I get to nuke her plantation, right? That's the way that works, yeah. It's like, wait, is Maya here? No. Nope, Maya's busy right now. Godless Engineer says the book for sale is a skeptic's marriage guide. A skeptic's marriage guide? Is that what under the same name? Seriously? Kelly said, "I wish that America's Most Wanted it was still airing because it wasn't like $100,000 amount for finding fugitives, right? Right? Yeah. Just send this shit in to the authorities. Like, we know where he is, except that's why people go to Mexico because Mexico does not extradite to the U.S., especially right now. They're not giving us shit. Like they'd be like, excuse me, that's not happening. That's literally why people go to Mexico, among other reasons for certain, right? But that's a big one. Um, sure said, is it showing? Damage him. Early screens. Don't do it. Oh no, what happened? Are we back? Think I lost connection for a moment or something. It says the racist teacher looks even more like an idiot, and now we know why Beverly had the Strangling Institute bookmarked. Yep, he's been through it before. Oh, good to know. Good to know. Welcome to you both. On widescreen. I don't know what that. My shit probably looks all fucked up that way. Here, let me do this. Maybe this would look better. Let me get more of the actual image. I know. I'm lost on who Silverman is. Any also Bree. I I. Oh wait, no. You're okay. That was referring to me. Yes. Who's Silver? I don't. No. I'm probably just like spacing on the name or something. I probably know what you're talking about, and I just forgot or something. What? Said junk website said Seth was worth 4 million. He talked about it on his show a few weeks ago. I missed it. See, I'm missing too much. And then Casey said, I mean, we know him. Know more about him. Elliot C. wouldn't protect a sex offender. Yes, we told Kraus to piss off. Dawkins, all of them. Yeah. Exactly. And I've seen people honestly, disfellowshipped, if you will, for worse, right? Or for not for lesser. That's what I mean to say. Like, it's like most of the skeptic community is going to be highly, they're proactive, right? They're proactive. They hear about this shit. They're like, do you have a defense? Is it credible? Is it, you know, like something should like we don't want to keep you around if you're a fucking predator. Um, unlike, the churches, which now we're being compared to, which is wild. It's wild. And the best thing you can do, honestly, if you are guilty of something, is just come out and be honest about it. Like, I found that in my time, like, just honesty is the best policy. Shit goes down. Hey, yeah, no, maybe I did that. Maybe that was me, and it was a poor decision. Um, I, take accountability for what I did and try to do better in the future. That's actually the best way to handle that. Not trying to project and redirect onto somebody else, and say, oh no, no, that's ridiculous. That could never have happened. Um, there are all these defensive techniques, which is like just drop your defenses, admit you fucked up, and try to be a better person, and you'll have a better shot at maybe becoming realigned with whatever secular humanism is, um, whatever's going on in the communities broadly, because that's what we're all about. We're about fucking finding truth, being reasonable. Jeez, man, it's never about the conspiracy theory. Fucking, we don't need any more of those. We've had enough of those, right? All right, we see protective orders, 2011 to 2012. The 2011 Criminal Protective Order, CR 161. Um, on March 11th, 2011, the day of the guilty pleas, the Orange County Superior Court issued a criminal protective order, um, you have the official code, as a condition of probation, a 3-year no contact stay away order protecting the victim in this case. Again, that's 11NF0341 in the county of Orange. And we can see this is an official court document. It's a criminal protective order other than domestic violence, so it's not a domestic violence restraining order, um, because it is with the minor, I imagine. Um, and yeah, I don't. Maybe a sexual assault is not considered domestic violence in this case. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Um, we see the protected persons, uh, vehicle, residence. I can't see what that is. This vehicle, residence, and something else. I can't tell what it says. Anyway, okay, 2012 request for domestic violence restraining order. So this is where the domestic violence restraining order comes in. Um, and this is alleged. So the way this works, and I happen to know, so if a person alleges domestic violence against another person in the state of California, there is no evidence. Um, the the DA most likely will not pursue those charges. However, that individual can still file a restraining order against the alleged abuser, and it will be granted um, most of the time. It'd be harder. It's harder to fight against it. Most of the time, they're going to grant that restraining order unless it's something like very unreasonable, um, just based on the allegation. But that does not mean that you are charged with or convicted of any crime, right? It is alleged that this happened. They don't have evidence to pursue, but they just say, let's keep these two people away from each other, and we can make that a matter of legal record, right? So that if the alleged does go to visit that person against their will, then they have something to fall back on when they call the police. They say, hey, I told this person to stay away from me. I got a restraining order. Now they're here at my house. So now you're violating that restraining order, right? Whatever it be. Whatever, and this could go to telephone or email or online social media communications, any of that. Okay. On June 14th, 2012, a protected party petitioned the same court for domestic violence restraining order against the subject, citing a documented pattern of threatening and harassing emails and letters across 2011-2012. The record here contains the petition, not a signed order, so it is recorded as a request, not a granted order. And so the allegation is after he pleads guilty to this charge in 2011, he continues to harass these people, threatening and harassing emails and letters. The petition was brought by the victim's mother, who was married to the subject at the time, the public record basis on which the 288C1 victim is the subject's stepdaughter. Among the materials filed with the petition were emails the subject wrote himself. In them, he told the recipient to move to Texas because it's going to get really ugly, and warned they would regret it. This is from the Superior Court of California, County of Orange, date of record 6/14/2012. This is a petition, not a signed order. So yeah, this is prior to a judge actually seeing and signing it. Now the judge, this again, you could go in and try to fight this, but you'd be hard pressed fighting against this particular order. The judge is almost certainly going to sign this, and if you don't show up for court, it's going to get signed automatically. That's the way that works. It keeps saying click to enlarge, but it's just my stupid thing. Maybe this. Oh, this is a copy of the. Oh my goodness. This is his actual email. There we go. From Michael Beverly to me. Book of John. If you say you love God, but you hate your brother or mother in law, you are a liar. And the truth is in. Looks like we're cut off a little bit here. Not, my mom did nothing but give. You are a taker. Out of victim's mouth, my mom is a fucking cunt. I corrected her back then, but she will be 18 someday, and you won't be able to control her. Facebook. Facebook? What the fuck? You won't be able to control her Facebook? Are you having redacted? Uh, I told you it hurt me to see how happy you were, and I didn't want to do it again anyway. How can you be so cruel? Oh yeah, you go to Anaheim. Understood. I hurt so badly right now. I can hardly move, but I can fucking write. You might have had some fucking compassion for all our sakes. Jesus. From Michael S. Beverly at gmail.com. Whoa. That's fucking wild. So all that shit's in there. Okay. More here. Several pages. This one was sent on the victim's birthday. The most precious and wonderful birthday gift you could give would be forgiveness, mercy, love, and a step towards. Please be good to all your daughters, including victim who needs you. Allow me to work on redemption. My recovery will bless them and call her into godly womanhood. Rejecting the heart, please accept that your husband is hearing from God and allow yourself to risk. Yeah, definitely wasn't a good Christian, dude. This is some pretty sick shit. Sent to the victim's sister. Forward statutory rape. Your mom and Vineyard have succeeded in divorcing me and kicking me out of fellowship. So unlike Jesus. Now you and I can talk about your sister, or you can ignore me. Your choice. And again, here I suggest you move to Texas because it's going to get really ugly. So these aren't his children; these are his stepchildren, right? Dude, that's wild. I could never imagine um, talking to my partner's kids that way. Um, Jeez. Yeah, we tell the biggest names in atheism ever to kick rocks, but we protest SR. Come on. And Prethinker Shari said, we don't play teams around here, it's values, and don't because sex offender, not hard. Yeah, and again, if a person is actually honest and takes accountability for their actions and shows that they're actually trying to change, that says something. When you just try to pin it on other people, act like nothing happened or act like the other people are just overreacting, yeah, probably not so much. We don't we don't give a shit, you know? Like, um, so and evidently, we get this information, these letters and all of this obviously would be before Michael's deconversion, so he could say, well, he's a better person now, but is that true? Is that true? Are you a better person now than you were because now you're attacking people who are accused of things, um, standing by the victim? Hmm. Um, okay, and Ember said a lot of people get forced into guilty pleas, but that's another topic for another time. Certainly, certainly. Um, and Casey said he doesn't deny he did it even now. So that I have not heard of. That's kind of news to me. Um, Interesting. He comes off as so mild mannered most of the time, but that doesn't really mean anything, does it? I mean, a lot of serial killers and predators end up being mild mannered when you put them in a cage or whatever. When it's time to go to the get interviewed, they're like, oh yeah, they come off as the nicest guy. That's why that's why they got away with it for so long. He admitted he did what he was accused of. And then Detroit said, but I think on his situation, his lawyer probably said that was the best option because they probably could have got him on a higher sentence. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think it said he could have done 3 years at prison plus probation and all of that. He still would have had to deal with. So he was trying to avoid the prison time as a sex offender against minors because it's no good to be in a prison like that. Everybody knows what happens to those guys, right? He thinks he's fine though because he spent 180 days in county jail, so he did the time. Technically, I suppose, yeah, he did. Um, yeah, he was about to get the gavel dropped on his head and pled out from under it. Exactly, Amber. Can't tell when he's okay. It did show. Bree said usually when there's a plea deal, It involves pleading guilty to a lesser charge with a lesser sentence. The idea is to get cases through the system as quickly as possible. Yes, and that one didn't show. See, I don't know. Just going back and forth. Uh, exactly. So I had this. My only drug charge was for weed, and a very very small amount of weed. And so yeah, I did. Actually, I pled no contest on that one, but I still got the deal pleading no contest on that charge because there it finally showed up. Because I pled, so they allowed me because there were two separate charges. They allowed me to plead no contest to one charge and guilty to the other charge. And because I pled guilty to the other charge, which was whatever. Um, so then I got basically that was the deal was like I took accountability for the one thing and they basically write the other thing off and they expunge it um, from my record. That was the nature of the deal. Abracadabra. But he does time, so abracadabra isn't the worst anymore. I mean, could be doing better, but now now he wants to turn it again and project it on other people. Project it on other people. You don't have enough information. You're not a fucking lawyer. You don't have enough information about the case, and you're taking a hard stance there, right? He said he paid his debt to society because he spent 100 at county jail. That was the deal, right? And even in the emails he sent his wife, daughters, he never says he didn't do it. And he's actually trying to plead to speak with the victim after the fact and blaming the mother for something or other, having him excommunicated from the church. One would think that would actually be a pretty good reason to get excommunicated from the church. Yeah, maybe just go to a different church at that point and leave those people alone. But I mean, only a reasonable person would do that. Jeez. Okay. So now we're on to wanted fugitive status, which he has been charged with, but since he's never been found, he remains a wanted fugitive. And then he tells people on the internet where the fuck he is. Again, no fear of extradition, right? Because that's pretty uncommon from Mexico. But I mean, hey, there's always exceptions to the rule. All right, so this is a separate case. 17NM08266, confirmed active, warrant outstanding, wanted fugitive. Michael Beverly is wanted. An arrest warrant is outstanding in the 2016 case. The Orange County Court lists his release status as fugitive, and California Department of Justice records list him on their offender absconders record, the same California DOJ record that carries his registry ID, shown in the registration section above. The case began with 5 misdemeanor counts of disobeying a domestic relations court order. No plea and no disposition was ever entered on any of them. So on the charges themselves, he stands charged, not convicted. What stands out is not the charges, but they were never answered. The court issued a warrant and marked him a fugitive. So this is on the violation of the order after the fact, sending those emails and other correspondences. Um, So this is under 273.6A. No plea or disposition recorded because he didn't show up. Pending criminal charges now It lists him as Bird in all of these though. Um, and it says alias, 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 real name, but they all say, well, there's a variation on the middle name here. Stephen, from a PH to a V. That's kind of interesting. Um, it could be any of them. If we assume that this is him, Michael Stephen Bird, real name, and here's all 5 violations. Maybe they just put it in the measure. They're like, well, maybe change the spelling. See, those are things I find kind of interesting. But I guess it doesn't really matter that much to the court. Like my experience, when the court filed for when I was going through the court case with my daughters, I pointed out that um, they had uh, they had not properly identified my oldest daughter by her legal middle name. They just chose to use a different name. And the court said, well, we don't actually care about that. We don't care about full legal names and like what's on the birth certificate and the social security card. We're just going to take whatever name you tell us as long as it's like generally similar or whatever. I was like, okay, that's weird. Um, but I did find that interesting that they didn't even know my daughter's full legal name. Um, okay, but that's another thing. Timeline. The full chronological record, every node dated as its true, precise, and linked to its primary source is on its own page. See the full timeline here, and then we're at the bottom of the page. We have a legal notice. Um, see what the timeline says. All right. So here we have 4/1/2010, recorded offense date, count one, later resolved by guilty plea. 5/1/2010, recorded offense date, count two, later resolved by guilty plea. So we have two offenses in, I'm sorry, April and May of 2010. Charges are filed. The criminal protective order is put in place. Michael asked to change his legal name. It was several months later, no doubt, and after he's gotten out of jail. Um, and then we go 2012. Um, he's been sending these repeated emails, harassing. Well, that was unfortunate. That was highly unfortunate. S in the chat. Fail. Where were we? Damn it, we were just getting to the juicy part. How long was I gone? I was going through the timeline. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, sorry about that. It was totally my fault. My janky Wi-Fi connection. So I can't stream out here anymore. Oh no, thunderstorms? I said F to pay respect. For sure, for sure. Okay, a couple minutes. Well, okay, so we went through the timeline, which is posted at the bottom of the page. Um, again, the initial offenses occurred in 2010. Trial occurs in 2011. It's a guilty plea. You have a protective order. He changes his name towards the end of 2011, and then 2012 is when he gets the restraining order put against him. He's convicted of violating that restraining order and charged with an additional 5 counts of disobeying the restraining order, and becomes a fugitive for the past 10 years, where now he self-describes on his in his own Blue Sky bio as living in Guadalajara, Mexico. So that's what we got there. Um, and yeah, basically, you'll be watching his YouTube channel. You are, um, I don't know if that's like aiding and abetting. I don't know. I think I ran down that pretty quickly. Yeah, you gotta have some balls, like to be a wanted fugitive and broadcast your location on the internet. That's pretty wild, man. Very brave and very stupid. Yeah, I'm very sorry about the interruption again. My Wi-Fi connection appears to be better. He immediately compared himself to Jesus when he got found out. What? Why? Yeah, very confident, very stupid. Yeah. Why would you do that? As far as I remember, Jesus never molested anyone. That, at least not as far as we know. That wasn't what the persecution was about there, buddy. Oh no. All right. Well, I suppose I better quit while I'm ahead. All right. So that's what we got. I linked that down there. I was gonna do a couple other things tonight, but I think I will wait it out. So I shall end the stream now, and thank everybody in chat. She Wonders, Bree Badger, Freethinkers Fireside, Better Than Ember. We had Godless Engineer, Detroit Atheist Queen, Cher Wilkes. I saw Waste to Human back here, and of course KC. Ooh, Doubting Thomas. I'm sorry I missed you. Jeffrey Dahmer was last seen heading for Waco with a large bottle of ketchup. It's true. Um, make sure I didn't miss anybody back here. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, I know, was here earlier. And anybody else if I missed you? Ooh, Bree. I miss Bree. Much love to Bree. And yeah, so have a spectacular rest of your Sunday night. And we'll see you pretty soon. I think I'm going to be doing something soon. So much love. Be kind. Be well. And stay trusty. And, you know, just just stick to doing what you do best. You don't sign up for all of these rabbit hole conspiracy theories, going down rabbit trails you don't even want to be on, man. Leave the getting to the getting people. Otherwise, get going. All right. Bye bye.